the meaning of, history of, significance of, and concerns germane to delimitation, the composition of the Delimitation Commission, the constitution provisions apropos of delimitation, the rationale of the 42nd and the 84th constitutional amendments, and the futuristic analysis of delimitation. Hello, friends. Thanks for tuning in. This is Sanjay Arora by profession. I am an advocate in Delhi. I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel, Legally Determined. Let's commence from the ground zero. What does delimitation mean? Delimitation means the process of fixing the number of seats and boundaries of territorial electoral constituencies in each state for the Lok Sabha and legislative assemblies. Delimitation also includes determining the seats to be reserved for scheduled castes SC and scheduled tribes ST in these houses. Delimitation determines how many seats each state gets in the parliament. The constitution mandates that each voter's vote should have equal value irrespective of which part of the country they reside in. However, the delimitation process means that the states that took little interest in population control could end up with a greater number of seats in the parliament. What is the composition of the Delimitation Commission? The delimitation process is performed by the Delimitation Commission set up under an Act of Parliament and appointed by the President. The Delimitation Commission comprises a retired Supreme Court or High Court judge, the Chief Election Commissioner, and the respective state election commissioner. What are the constitutional provisions germane to the delimitation? Article 82 of the Constitution mandates the number of the seats in the Lok Sabha could be readjusted based on the latest census data. Under Article 170 of the Constitution, states also get divided into territorial constituencies as per Delimitation Act after every census. What is the history of delimitation? The Delimitation Commissions have been set up 4 times: 1952, 1963, 1973, and 2002 under the acts of 1952, 1960, 1972, and 2002. The first delimitation exercise was carried out by the President with the help of the Election Commission in 1915 and 51. The last delimitation process that changed the state-wise composition of the Lok Sabha was completed in 1976 and done on the basis of the 1971 census. The number of seats in the Lok Sabha based on the 1971 census was fixed at 543 when the population was 54.8 crore. This number is to be readjusted based on the first census after 2026. In 1926, during the emergency, the Indira Gandhi-led government passed the 42nd Constitutional Amendment, halted the revision of the parliamentary seats for 25 years until the 2001 census. In 2001, the Atal Bihari Vajpayee-led government extended this restriction until 2026 through the 84th Constitutional Amendment. The 87th Amendment Act of 2003 provided for the delimitation of constituencies on the basis of 2001 census and not 1991 census. However, this can be done without altering the number of seats allotted to each state in the Lok Sabha. What is the rationale behind the 42nd Constitutional Amendment and the 84th Constitutional Amendment? The rationale behind both amendments was to promote population control measures to prevent states that successfully curbed population growth from being penalized with fewer seats while ensuring that those with higher population growth were not rewarded with more members of parliament. As a result, the Lok Sabha remains capped at 545 members. What is the significance of delimitation? Representation. Delimitation ensures fair representation in the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies by adjusting the number of seats based on population changes. This upholds the democratic principle of one citizen, one vote, one value. Equity. By readjusting the boundaries of territorial constituencies, delimitation aims to ensure equitable distribution of seats among different regions considering population shifts over time. This helps prevent underrepresentation or overrepresentation of specific areas, reserved seats for SC/ST, Delimitation determines the allocation of reserved seats for scheduled castes SC and scheduled tribes ST in accordance with the constitutional provisions, ensuring adequate political representation for the marginalized communities. Federalism. Delimitation impacts federal principles by influencing the distribution of political power among states. It is essential to strike a balance population based representation and federal considerations to maintain harmony among diverse regions. Population control measures. Historically, the freezing of seats based on the 1971 census aimed to incentivize population control measures. However, the impending delimitation exercise raises questions about effectiveness and implications of this policy in the context of changing demographics. What are the concerns related to delimitation? Regional disparity. Disparity in representation between north and southern part of India in the Lok Sabha due to population as a deciding factor. The delimitation based solely on population disregards the progress made by the southern states in population control and may lead to disparities in the federal structure. Despite having only 18% of the country's population, the southern states contribute 35% to the country's GDP. The northern states, which did not prioritize population control, are expected to benefit in the delimitation process due to their higher population growth. Inadequate funding. After the 15th Finance Commission used the 2011 census as a basis for its recommendation, concerns were raised about southern states losing funding and representation in parliament. Previously, the 1971 census was used as the base for funding and tax devolution recommendations to states, affecting the reservations for SCs, STs. The scheduled delimitation and reallocation of seats may result in not only a loss of seats for southern states but also an increase in power for political parties with their base of support in the north. This could potentially lead to a shift of power toward the north and away from the south. The exercise will also affect the division of seats reserved for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in each state under Articles 330 and 332. The analysis of how India's electoral map could change, resorting to 2026 population projections based on government data. The Lok Sabha's strength would increase to 846 seats to correct demographic imbalances. Uttar Pradesh currently has 80 seats and after delimitation exercise would rise to 143 seats. Bihar nearly double seats representation, jumping from 40 seats to 79. Other Hindi-based states like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Jharkhand see significant seat gains in proportion to their population. The southern states see far fewer changes. Kerala sees no increase, remaining at 20 seats. Tamil Nadu rises modestly from 39 to 49 seats. The overall share of Lok Sabha seats in the Hindi-based representation climbs from 42% to 48%, whereas the South would shrink from 23% to 19%. What are the solutions to address this challenge? According to the experts, maintaining the current allocation of the Lok Sabha seats while distributing additional seats based on each state's share of the national population, allocating Lok Sabha seats strictly according to the latest census data but balancing the disparity by ensuring equal representation for all states in the Rajya Sabha. Thanks